Hello, my name is Chris Santiac, and this is my ethical dilemma on tech replacing humans in jobs. Now, my scenario is, as I said before, tech replacing humans in jobs. The scenario I was given was Arnold is the owner of a hamburger restaurant. He has been reading about an automated fast food machine that can turn everything a human worker can do, but potentially much faster. Even if it's not faster, the machine runs 24/7, does not need breaks or days off. Also, the machine is not paid benefits or other things required by law for human employees. The machine is very expensive to purchase, but the restaurant is an area by raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. So, by laying off or firing almost all the employees, the machine will be paid off in 1 year. Arnold is tempted to buy the machine. Is it ethical for Arnold to buy the machine? Well, we first need to talk about why this is important to us. In the ever changing world of AI, it has undoubtedly shifted and changed how the job market is currently. With the current job market favoring AI innovation and possible developments, the job market has opened up way more positions in development to AI and AI technologies. However, with this rapid pace of AI development, these developers are seemingly ignoring the other factor, in which case the workers are seemingly cut of the short end of the stick in this scenario, with workers being put at risk for being laid off, with AI being used at companies to try and replace their jobs. The reason why this is important to us is because this is not an issue that will occur years from now. This is something that's currently happening to us right now. As evident in NJIT, there are current AI majors that are opting to give students the chance to interest them into AI, in which case it is important to us because, well, in our case, we don't know if our jobs can be taken by an AI later down the line. Now, in effects on society, the rise of AI has brought severe liabilities to blue collar and white collar workers. Notably, for white collar workers, the rise of AI being able to sort and organize mass data rapidly has put workers who work in data at risk of losing their jobs. Since AI can rapidly organize the data fastly, companies may see this as a way to lay off data organizers who have spent years in their profession in the journey for trying to save money for the company. Now, in terms of the blue collar workers, such as those who work in factories, AI automation has brought a new way to get products to the consumer faster. And while to the companies it is seen as something as a good thing, this undoubtedly will put blue collar workers at risk since they are losing their jobs to an automation of AI. Another example of this being AI in the art industry, as many companies are opting to use AI art rather than human artists. Now, for pros and cons, AI is being the forefront of automation, and in a technical sense, it would be working faster than a human, in which case would benefit the company, since they don't have to worry about humans getting tired. If they just use an AI, it can be seen as a way to cut labor costs as well as ensuring that they can get products to the consumer more quickly. In regards to jobs that are more dangerous, such as construction or handling dangerous materials, AI doing that job can be seen as putting humanity first, since these human workers don't have to put themselves at risk for doing these dangerous jobs since an AI can just do it for them. However, a con with the rise of AI is that it puts millions of jobs at risk of being removed, with companies putting profits over workers, as stated from Ford in 2015. With this new age of technology, without the need of constant human input, if companies were to replace AI in their workforce, of course, they would lay off hundreds of workers, putting them jobless and not having a proper livelihood. As well, in the case of AI technology, it may be able to learn many skills in a matter of moments, in terms of what would take a human to learn in a matter of possibly months, in which case would lower the amount of effect or the actual value that skill has, since AI can just do it in an instant. Now, for intended and unintended consequence, the main consequence or the intended consequence of this from companies would be they want to increase productivity on these AI technologies, in which case would benefit them since they don't have to spend as much on labor, as I stated before. As well as another factor that it can help them become more competitive in the job market as well as the stock market, since they are able to produce more product, they can get the consumer more quickly, as stated in A. Small Restrepo in 2019. As well as quoting from Ford 2015, the implementation of AI technologies, the company can see it as a way to put workers first rather than putting them at risk for dangerous jobs such as construction, which would be a proper intended consequence. The unintended consequence can be that from AI being everywhere, in turn, it can if companies were to feed AI improper information, this in turn would make the AI possibly biased against certain minority groups or certain ethnic groups. In which case, if this AI were trained on old data that the company uses, then it could possibly make the AI more biased, as stated from O'Neill in 2016. Another unintended consequence is that with the rise of convenience and automation, jobs that are previously filled by humans may be at risk to be automated entirely, in which turn a major demographic of these jobs involve critical thinking, like let's say such as us right now, people who are in college who are currently studying to think critically. If AI were to replace us entirely, it could possibly cause a massive gap, or attempting to remove the value that we put into our critical thinking skills if companies were to just use AI entirely, which I'm sure is not their intention. However, unfortunately, it could unintentionally happen as a consequence from their intended consequences of trying to put AI into jobs. Now, in terms of the future of AI as it stands right now, as well as the possible AI bubble in the current stock market, it's evident that AI is not going to go away overnight. Companies are trying to implement AI into our daily livelihoods, as stated by Google with Google Gemini. However, in the path of innovation and convenience, a major theme emanating from this is that AI is attempting to push workers to the sidelines rather than actually help them in the long run. Now, it's not to say that all AI is possibly bad. As an example, I will say right now, doctors have used AI to develop a system where breast cancer can be detected way early before it can begin to take form, which is monumental in the medical field, as stated from McKinney et al. In 2020. However, in cause of AI operations, not only for the workers but for the environment as well, since thousands of gallons of water are being used to power AI, to simply ignore these concerns would be pretty much brutal. We would not be putting concern at the forefront, which is something we should absolutely do if we are to continue working with AI in the future. Now, for our dilemma, in case of Arnold, I would say it would be a genuine dilemma, since if we view this from the profit point of view, if Arnold were to buy the machine, it will save him on profits, and since in the increase of wages coming into effect soon, he'll have to pay more for his employees for the revenue. And if the revenue generated from the restaurant can't keep up with the increasing wages needed to pay for the employees, if he can keep up with the wages, then that's great, but it's not a guarantee. And if he can't keep up with the wages, then well, it possibly that if he lays off the workers, then it could be a good thing on his end because he can keep up with the profits and keep his restaurant. Now we put it from the human's point of view, Arnold Schwarzenegger would not buy the machine as valid too, since if he buys the machine, he would lay off nearly his entire staff, and those laid off would not be able to make a livelihood. And if those workers learn that Arnold replaced their labor with a machine, it could cause his public image to go downwards as workers may not want to work for him again, as well as consumers thinking that he doesn't put humans at the forefront. In which case he's only putting profits over humanity, which could be a really bad damage to his public image. This is my bibliography of the sources that I use, and thank you for your time and thank you for listening to me. I hope you have a good day.